We'll talk a little Georgia. We'll talk a little Major League Baseball. We'll talk NCAA hoops. All that and more coming up on today's Wade and Carter Show. Get the weather rock. Get the weather rock. Hey, good morning.
Good morning to you,
How
sir.
are you today?
I'm fascinated. I'm just fascinated.
Bye.
Well, like everything went pretty well. We did have somebody the other day, Callie Fromme, actually, who said, why don't you just tell people you're going to start at 7:05? Because we want you there, pensive, waiting, like a little puppy, just waiting at the door for us to come through.
And 7:05 is kind of an anomaly in the radio world. If you listen to other shows, they have long, lengthy commercial breaks.
It's ridiculous.
They'll play music. I mean, you don't hear from somebody till 10 after.
I listen to other shows. I encourage you to do so as well. We listen to shows coming in, and like at 6:19, that one show, you know what I'm talking about, they'll go to commercial break, and they don't come back till like 6:28. It's like 9 minutes. Extendo Vite. You're like, what?
Get the tea.com. Get the tea.com.
That tea that makes you go. I'm like,
that's called
what?
Water.
It's just like, I'm like, golly, it's the same thing every day.
Speaking of which,
the Wade and Carter weather mixed up for you by the great folks at Deerland Feed. 61 degrees in Victoria, heading to a high today of 79. That's only an 18-degree increase.
Is that it?
Over the course of the day. But it's kind of like cloudy, partly sunny. Cloudy, partly sunny.
No rain today?
No rain today, and it's going to be kind of windy in the afternoon. You know when it's kind of cloudy and windy? Don't forget to water your porch plants,
all your
potted plants, because that wind dries them out.
Your pot plants? Is that what you said?
Hey, man, it's your grow house.
It's your
whatever, dude. When it's legal,
hop.
when it's legal, I'm ready, bro. I heard it's coming. I heard the cops aren't after anything less than 2 pounds. Good luck.
2 pounds.
Tell you what, we've been so fortunate.
Don't weigh your pockets down.
So fortunate in this area to have quality law enforcement people. And you know what I mean? Because there's places that they don't.
Yep.
But it really touched me the other day to have HR Mallory in, because while we don't, take for granted is not the right word. We have a very familiar relationship with HR because we're all friends away from the show and get to see the human side, the individual side, if you will, of a state trooper. I find myself when I talk to him saying, be safe out there. He goes into harm's way every day. Ash goes into an office. I go into an office. HR goes into a crazy world with guns and then you have people like Justin Marr who have just stepped in and continued the great work of T. Michael. And you've got
he was undercover yesterday or Saturday. By the way,
what was he? Was he the Easter Bunny?
No, he was at HEB though, and kind of incognito. Yeah,
fishing shirt,
t-shirt and shorts, I think.
Nice. Sheriff's legs, probably white.
I didn't pay that much attention.
Yeah, I'm sure you didn't.
No.
I'm sure you didn't fondle him inappropriately over by the zucchini.
No, we were in the dairy aisle.
Did you ask him, is this cucumber big? Oh, goodness. Then we have great folks like, he's been here a very short time, but Chief Robert Arredondo, super guy. He had a birthday last week.
I saw that, yeah.
He's like 47 years old. He's just a mere baby, just a babe. But he's seen lots of experience in law enforcement, military experience. You got guys like Sheriff Louderback. Now, Sheriff Louderback, I think Gary Moses taught him his first year.
He might have.
Sheriff Louderback always checks in. Well, he is America's sheriff. I'm waiting for like a hip hop video with Sheriff Andy Louderback and Diamond and Silk, where they're the background singers.
You gotta redo. There it is.
Kids, not going to take your refugees. No.
Marvin Makers, good morning. Bobby Leister ran into Bobby at the HEB as well over the weekend.
Did he
Bob
go?
Watley?
Did he do that? Hey, isn't that Ash Wade?
No.
He did he?
No.
Good.
No.
Ricky King, where you at, Ricky?
Amanda Blosky, Bob Watley, Tracy Price, good morning. Rena Scherer, Roy Gutierrez, Judge Posey.
Good morning, Judge.
Bobby Leister says we lost 3 over the Easter weekend. Hope everybody had a good Easter.
No, one of our YouTube listeners was that radical Islamic extremist idiot Muslim that drove his car into the barricade at the Capitol. Yeah. We lost that guy. Oh, well. That's weird. We'll talk about that in a minute, but that's weird. And there's like the Capitol is under attack. The dude hit it with like a Yugo.
Killed a Capitol police officer. Injured another one.
Get on the other side of the barricade. Come on, man. Be on the safe side.
I don't know how.
I don't, but I think that guy's a nut. They did kill that guy, didn't they?
Yeah.
Good.
And then you got people. Then there's because supposedly left the car brandishing a knife, right? I don't care if he left the car brandishing anything. The minute he rammed the barricade,
should have been shot.
That you're in a vehicle, but you've got people trying to make excuses. Oh, if it had been a white guy, it would have been shot.
That's
that
ridiculous.
Garbage. No, you know what? Anybody who drives their car into the barricade at the Capitol,
deserves to be shot.
Yeah, you have ill intentions, and I don't care what they are.
Right. Even if you're just drunk, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Diane Tipper, good morning. Christina Wise checking in. Chris Conrad, good morning. Brad Miner, Jeff Finley, Patrick Strauss, Justin Glass, Jamie Coleman, Matt Boucher, Lorena Bargenbrook, Lisa Poole.
What a group.
Jeff Fonseca, good morning. The Iceman is in. Scott Tomko, Lisa Poole, Greg Garcia, Amanda Smith King. There's HR.
Oh, Brad says I'm already in rare form. I'm really not. I'm good. Ricky King is in Victoria today. Jeff Finley will send me photos now of, like, if he's out by the pool kicking back. It's not like the way girls do it, where girls, like, put their feet out there to show that they got their pedicure or whatever. Yeah. He doesn't do that. He usually puts whatever's in his hand.
Well, you end up with a hammer toe.
It's a picture of whatever's in his hand. Yeah, I got that. Yeah. You know, it would be bad if the dudes did it. There's that toenail that's kind of wrapped around the end of your toe. Cut that. No, it's protective.
It's keeping my shoe from rubbing. Terry Murray, good morning.
T-Lat likes my Burlebo shirt.
Adam Daughtry wouldn't know what that is.
I'm going to give you guys a shout there. Just since you wouldn't know what that is, you can go to Burlebo, Burlebo. Burlebo is a brand. Very reasonable, fine men's coiffure. No, that's hair stuff. Clothing. And you can also get it. You can buy some of it down at a Bethune & Son down there on Main Street.
Yes. How was your Easter?
Bright, sunny, pretty. It was nice. You know, we go to Parkway, and to walk into Parkway and see what we used to kind of take for granted, a packed church, lots of people there. It was nice. It was nice and you can feel
twice a year, Easter and Christmas.
But we used to have it all the time. You know, I'm hoping now that people come back. You can feel the energy when there's a whole bunch of people at any type of event, but especially church. There's no doubt. I mean, you're seeing, and I don't watch it, but I've heard you're seeing, really. I don't watch it. Great NBA basketball right now. The games are great, but nobody's there.
I tell you, a great game. Saturday night. A UCLA Gonzaga game into overtime. Yeah. I thought Gonzaga was going to walk away with it. That thing was close.
I did too.
And Jalen Suggs hits a 3 from like halfway between midcourt and the top of the key. And
you know, the coach said, he goes, hey, Mark Few said, hey, you know, you might think that's luck, but he sure hits a lot more than he misses, and we practice that at the end of every practice.
Well, why wouldn't you?
How bad?
Kind of like Hail Mary practice at the end of football practice, right?
How badly is Baylor going to just throttle Gonzaga?
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking now, the way that one went down.
Baylor's going to throttle Gonzaga.
You know what was as amazing as Suggs' shot was? The Joe Song kid from UCLA, he missed the little runner in the lane, right? But followed up and got his own rebound and put it off the glass to tie it. That was a great play in itself just to tie the game because he's been pretty much kept quiet all overtime. Credit the Gonzaga defense for doing a good job on him and keeping the ball out of his hands in overtime. But how many guys quit on that play? As soon as they take the shot, they just kind of watch it and they don't follow up. There's a kid who just fundamental basketball, followed his own shot, got the rebound, put it off the glass, tied it up with 3 seconds left. And credit Gonzaga, because this was something I saw last week at the end of one of the games. You had a little bit of time. Defense was kind of They get to half court. They call timeout. You got 1.1 seconds left. They, no play doesn't work, right? Then they lose the game. But credit Gonzaga, just we're going to try this.
Panic.
Didn't panic. Said, you know what? We got 3 seconds. You do a set play. The defense gets ready. We're going to try to catch them off guard. And UCLA did nothing wrong.
No, worst case, that guy gets fouled. He goes and makes a free throw and wins the game.
Yeah.
Interesting. I bet, Mark, you pointed out when they watched video, hey, after he takes his first shot, somebody should have put a hip on him and blocked him out. He should have been able to get his own rebound and make a layup.
Bob Watley says he didn't call backboard. It shouldn't count.
Legit point, Bob. Legit point. I mean, I think you've got to call that, especially in a big game.
He's lucky that thing didn't shatter the backboard.
Right, it hit
it hard. I thought there's no way that's got a chance. And then, whoa, it's in. But great
boom.
game to watch. And then Stanford, 1 point win over Arizona yesterday to win the women's national championship. Yeah, but it was kind of a dull game.
And the game was not that close until late, right? I mean, it ended up being really close, obviously 1 point at the end. But for a large portion of the second and third quarter, Stanford was up by 18. A lot. They were up. Speaking like one-word sentences, up.
Yeah, they were up early, and then Arizona clawed their way back. But, yeah, it was at the half, it was 8 points.
We tried to watch some hockey yesterday. The Tampa Bay Lightning was playing Detroit. And you know what I noticed?
What's that?
And I know I'm wrong because I think the Lightning went to the Stanley Cup final very recently, right? And Detroit looked like a lot better team. Not
the way it is.
Right, I know, but it's weird because – the puck was always on Detroit's end of the ice.
That happens every once in a while.
Okay. Is that like when the Cowboys win?
Yeah, kind of. Just every once in a while it happens.
Okay.
Yeah, Red Wings beat them 5-1. Leafs beat my Flames 4-2.
The Flames are they like hovering around 500?
No, they're below 500, like 4 games below. It's terrible.
By the way, you're looking sharp today.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So
you look like you have meetings today.
I don't think so. You never know.
You just cleaned up.
Yeah, I did.
Just what you did.
Trim the beard up.
Did you? A little just for men?
No. Wall.
No, I'm not talking
beard
about
trimmer.
I'm just wondering if you put a little color on that.
No, I shortened it. Doesn't look as gray when it's not as long. Try it sometime.
Wow. There's not as much gray because half of it's on the garage floor.
Exactly.
I'm with you.
You got your ears lowered, I see.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, T-Lac cuts my hair. She does a great job. Sews her own clothes.
Subjective.
She cooks.
Cans.
She does. She cooks. She tells me how to clean. She tells me how to clean. She does a great job.
Jeremy Pena checking in. Tom Price, good morning.
Hello, JP. Have you seen America's Sheriff? Did he check in?
Yes, he did.
Okay, I want to make sure.
Yep. Sure did. First break time.
Allen's Record Service.
I saw Allen's trucks over the weekend. Nothing alarming, nothing life-threatening.
No
but
postal truck? No postal truck?
No, they weren't delivering mail, but Allen's was busy.
578-6300. They're always busy, strategically positioned around the region. They can be there in a moment's notice. 578-6300. If you don't want to wait, don't hesitate.
There you go.
Allen's Record Service.
578-6300.
The VCS companies, Rocket Oilfield Services, and the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer, all part of the Hartman Communication empire.
If it talks, squawks, walks,
or drills for oil, you need to call the VCS companies. They'll take care of you all the way down to an iPhone 12 if you want some electrical accoutrement.
Nice.
If you need that, if you would like to have a charger or a new iPad or all types of phone covers, screen protectors, all of that stuff, or all the way up to surround sound, surveillance, security. If you don't have a security system in today's world, you are a target. Be aware of that. Chesnick Furniture Company.
Speaking of, we'll get to that.
Go ahead. 101 years in downtown Victoria, Chesnick Furniture, 70 at their current location. Bobby Leon and his family care about you and your family. That's why they say you just do better at Chesnick. We added in Chesnick Love, make your house a home. Hook up with Bobby Leon, 116 West Wanland, corner of Wanland and Bridge. And today is your day to get right back into Veracruz.
576-6015. If you'd like to order to pick it up on your way to Little League or softball or soccer practice.
Enchilada casserole, man.
It'll be warm enough that it'll stay warm in the car while you're at practice, and then you can go home and eat it.
Those Little League parties should get about 3 enchilada casseroles. Instead of pizza for those kids, let them eat enchiladas. Oh, they'd love it.
They eat enough pizza the rest of the week, days of the week.
There you go. And we'll mention Texas Coast Limo. Bob Constantine.
575 Limo.
Makes your party memorable. We've got a lot of those folks in this show.
We do.
Caterers, designers.
They'll pick you up.
You name it.
Drop you off. Then pick you up again and drop you back off.
Yeah. Make sure you travel safe. Make sure that you, when you know you're going out, why not accentuate the event with Texas Coast Limo.
Dave Garza, good morning. Jenna West checking in. So Facebook apparently had a data breach.
500 million users.
This was a couple of years ago, I think, but they're finally now it's becoming apparent whose data was breached. And lo and behold, Mark Zuckerberg's cell phone was among those numbers that were released or leaked or sold or compromised, whatever. Yeah. So
Peter McNally points out Astros start hot.
Yeah, they did. We'll get to that in a minute. But I thought it was interesting that Zuckerberg's own data couldn't be protected. So,
I mean, it makes you wonder if that's how he kind of alleviates some liability. Hey, folks, I'm right there with you. I mean, it's a bad situation. Not much I can do about it. Happened to me too. Makes you wonder. Do you hear that when I do that?
I heard that. Yeah.
Do you think they hear that out there?
I can hear it. They can hear
Is this thing on? Test.
But it's like your first day in radio.
Right. So you're saying every day is like my first day in radio.
But I mean, did anybody give Facebook? I don't know, their cell phone. I don't know if you had. It's been so long.
No, I didn't have to give them mine.
But what's interesting? But I created a Yahoo Facebook or email just for that because I don't like getting all the spam stuff. Just like I've got a Yahoo strictly for all those. When you have to subscribe to something.
Right.
Like some of our, a lot of the news services and sites, not services, but a lot of the news sites I peruse, I don't want their pop-ups and stuff coming to my regular
But you don't use that email for anything else.
No, it's just for that.
Like it would look silly if you sent out emails that said, porndog69 at yahoo.com.
No, I use that for fantasy.
Right.
Yeah, that's my fantasy football.
When you're like in your basement, when you're, Ma, the meatloaf, Ma. Yeah, that's you. That's when you're down there.
Kids down south have no clue what a basement is.
But you know what's funny is when I go I've got a buddy that has a golf tournament that I usually go to on an annual basis in Indiana. And the way, of course, the lot is kind of a rolling, right? Yeah. So you come in on one side and you kind of drive up a little incline to go to the garage. But when you go in the garage, you can immediately go down some stairs, and there's 2 bedrooms down there that walk out on the back side of the house.
Yeah, it's called a walkout basement.
But it's free space. I mean, it's when they look at the square footage of their home, they don't count that.
They never do. They always only count the floor above grade. It's
weird. I know, but
it usually doubles your square footage.
Yeah, if you've got a 3,000 square foot house up there and it costs $450,000, but you've also got 2,000 square feet downstairs. Yeah. I mean, I've seen elaborate pool table rooms, and you may need a sump pump or something. I don't know what they do.
I don't know. We never had issues with leaky basements.
But you don't feel like you're in a basement at all. It had a 9-foot ceiling.
Windows. It's
glass doors.
It's not like the basement cages that you grew up in.
Look, Lorena says, "How's the swag side coming?" It's we're keeping you waiting. It's like Elvis. It's we do need to get some. I will work on that.
I'll get you.
Be nice if we had some pre-orders. That would help. Because when I go back to Compadres, they're going to go, this one's on you, fat man.
Christina Wise asks, how is that insured? Is that factored in? Yeah, usually it's your whole house.
Well, because it'll ask, do you have a basement?
Yeah.
Is it finished? And you put a price on that. Yeah.
Most people, when they buy a house, though, it's weird. Like a lot of people won't finish their basements because they think it adds value to not have it finished. So whoever buys the house can then finish it themselves. And other people, they don't want to do that. They want to.
But the basements where you find, like upstairs, you might have a formal living, formal dining.
Yeah.
But in the basement where the beer sign is, with the shuffleboard table.
Basement was where we played hockey, and
And it's all concrete. You're not going to hurt anything.
Well, we have carpet, and we had carpet.
I bet that was nice with all those boys over there.
Yeah. But that's where if it was crappy weather outside, we were downstairs.
Going there with a black light.
We'd move all the furniture. We'd play tackle football down there. We'd play floor hockey down there. We played forms of baseball. I mean, the wrestling, all sorts of stuff.
I'm just picturing the black light. And it's like,
yeah.
Whoa, hey, somebody get a hold of OJ. We've got DNA everywhere down here. You guys.
It was
you kids,
stinky hockey equipment in the laundry room.
Shush! Yeah. I tell you,
it was a mess. Mom and Dad.
That is gross.
Tina and Wally couldn't wait to see us get out of the house.
Wait, did South Carolina play this weekend in something? I'm not being smart on it. I mean, I thought I saw somewhere Christina said this game is.
Yeah, they lost.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Lost Arizona, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, that is what happened. So
Wright says he was taxed for a finished out basement in Austin because his house is built on the side of the hill and the bottom floor is figured into the square footage.
And then, you know what? It may be in Texas
probably,
they do that because in Texas typically if you go 3 feet below grade you find water. What about
in Texas? They need every last dime out of you for school. So,
well, that's what it takes to get that great education.
So, how about the Astros?
Well, they start off, 3-0?
4-0, I think.
4-0 now. They get a bonus
yesterday.
I made the comment to Ash coming in. I go, there's a chance, there's a chance they could go undefeated this year. It's be very rare. Much as Gonzaga has won them all, the Astros on the path to win them all.
9-2 yesterday.
Yeah, 9-2. And what gets me is, so Dawn and I were listening on Saturday night. And the Astros, they weren't struggling, but they were only up 2-1. And Oakland's not a bad club, folks. Oakland's a good team.
That was as close as Oakland got all weekend because we outscored them 35-9 in a 4-game series.
Well, Yordan Alvarez comes up with 2 on, and literally the call goes, "Oh, that ball's well struck by Alvarez. It's back. It's gone." I mean, it was like that's going to be a double. It's actually. It's gone.
You must have been listening to the A's broadcaster.
And just like that, it was 5-1 Astros. And I said, and I tell you what, I don't take it for granted, but it's not lost on me that when the Astros got up 5-1, I turned off the sound and said, Astros win. There was a time I would have been like, oh, we're going to lose 6-5. That doesn't happen much to the Astros anymore. They are good.
Was it Friday night when Altuve I don't want to say stole home, but I failed to come up with another descriptor for it because it was a sack. Well, it wasn't. It was a pop-up to the infield, to the second base side. Elvis Andrus, the shortstop, former Ranger, went over to make the play.
They had a shift on.
And he caught it sort of on a back pedal. I guess the wind in Oakland was swirling a little bit. And what is it? I don't even know what they call it now. It used to be Oakland County Coliseum or something, Alameda Coliseum.
Yeah, Oakland Alameda Coliseum.
But so he kind of backpedaled, and all of a sudden Altuve's going home, and he 2 bounces one into home, and Altuve scores on what became a sac fly for Kyle Tucker.
Andrus has a great arm, and I think he actually thought, this fool's not stupid enough to go home. No, he's not going home on me. I'm Elvis Andrus, and he does have a great arm. T-Lat points out that we do have limited shirts. We've got some caps. If you want a cap, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get you a cap for $10 a throw, and they're nice caps. They're the Richardson snapback. Fonzie says he's down for a couple of T-shirts, and Fonzie, I've got a Wayne Carter decal for you now. I talked to Jeannie Morrison.
There we go. Way to ruin that.
I talked to Jeannie Morrison Friday night and told her I was thinking about putting a Wayne Carter decal on her. She has here at the Tower of Power.
Imagine if Elon Musk was just giving away his Teslas anytime anybody asked for one.
Right? Well, he could, though, right? He's a billionaire. He'd be like Oprah. But I told Jeannie I was going to put a sticker on her parking spot, and she said, that's fine. When I'm in town, I'll just take it off, and when I leave, I'll put it back. I thought she was extremely kind.
Yeah, well, what you didn't know is she just punched into her phone and
Security. I'll get tasered if I go out there.
Exactly. They keep an eye on this guy. Make sure he's nowhere around my sign.
They did have Patrick Strauss says he'll take a hat. There you go. If Pete McNally orders one, I'm autographing it.
You don't want to bring the value down. But
by me autographing it or Pete wearing it? Peter, we love you.
But I thought the Astros looked really, really good. Midseason form. Pitching was solid.
What are McCullers?
Friday night.
Friday
night? He pitched pretty well. I think he pitched Saturday. But Friday night, if Altuve doesn't score on that sac fly to short second, shortstop made the play, but it was really on the second.
Yeah, they had to shift on and moved him over there.
But if they don't get that run, the A's came back and would have tied the game. They clawed their way back into it and trailed 6-5 because that run Altuve scored was a 6th run. It put the Astros up 6-1 at that point.
Wow.
So, that changed. But this Astros team is playing with a lot of fun. They're very loose. It was almost like they were going through the motions last year. I mean, they went 29-31. They had a fairly decent postseason, got to the league championship and lost.
Ho-hum.
But they really didn't seem interested in last season. But this year so far, it's only 4 games. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to, 162 and 0. Here we go.
158 left.
But
I don't see them getting beat unless they beat themselves.
But you never know. Pitching could let you down. But they had fun all weekend, and they were a lot of fun to watch. That's what I'm getting down to.
Did you see anything? I saw Carlos Correa go 0 for 3 on Saturday. I don't know what he did the rest of the weekend.
Michael Brantley started off hot. Altuve's off to a good start.
Brantley had a league standard where I don't know if he tied or I think he tied. Only one other player, maybe 2, had ever hit leadoff home runs or opening day home runs 3 consecutive years after joining their current team, and he has done it. He has homered on opening day every season that he's been with the Astros. Now, he's an interesting guy because Michael Brantley is 36-7, and Brantley is a guy that came here as a lifetime 296 hitter. And he's hit above that mark every season he's been here. That's phenomenal. He's hit over 300 every year that he's been here, and that is awesome. Bregman looks great. Altuve's been strong in a leadoff position, and Greinke looked great the other night, 6 innings pitched. The Astros are off to as good a start as they could have without Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander.
Urquidy went 4 2/3, I think, yesterday.
Nice player. Really nice player.
Didn't get the win, but Yermin Mercedes, rookie for Chicago, goes 8 for 8, ties a record of the most hits to start a season by a rookie. Most consecutive, 8 for 8. That record stood since 1900. That's how hard it is to do in the major leagues.
8 for 8.
I don't know what he did yesterday.
He'll go about 0 for his next 21.
Probably. Probably.
The Antonov dealership since 1926, since back when Babe Ruth roamed around Boston, 1926. Wow. Think about that. That's how long they've been here.
Interesting tie-in with Atzenhofer and Boston, Fenway. You know why the Green Monster exists?
To hide the Chevys parked behind it.
True story. There was a car dealer back there because it's right in the middle of Boston. I mean, there's roads around there, but there was a car dealer, and the dealer got
tired of balls
in his cars. But the owner was so cheap, he didn't want to lose the balls and pay for the windshield, so he just built a taller wall.
There you go.
Now it's a parking lot.
And then Jim Rice showed up. Yeah, and it just didn't matter.
Now it's a parking garage behind the fence at Fenway. But yeah, true story.
Atznover.com since 1926. Reach out and figure out what you want to drive from now on. Chevy, Cadillac, Mazda, Mitsubishi. Great financing deal, extremely low interest rates, huge trading
If you're looking for a
values.
great deal on a used car, if it's still there, I saw it over the weekend on atsnover.com.
Ashes car of the week.
Yeah. They've got a 2009 Cadillac CTS, I think it was. I think it's on.
It's not an 88 Fleetwood
No.
Brougham.
No, or a Coupe de Ville,
Right.
or a Sedan de Ville. What was the one that had the little?
That was the Seville.
No, it was
Four-door Seville.
Was that the Seville?
Yeah, well, then there was the
notch
Eldorado.
trunk. Yeah, the Eldorado was a sweet car. No, but this one's it's mileage is low given the year. One owner, trade. It looked to be in great shape, like 7,995. I mean, if you're looking
Really?
yeah, really. I mean, if I had $8,000 burned a hole in my pocket, I'd just go buy it.
If it'll run, it's worth $8,000. And if they keep it on their lot, it's worth $8,000. Get the Atznover today
And that was
and get you a
discounted,
brand new used Cadillac.
There you go.
White Trash Services, 550-1826. When it's time to get rid of stuff, 10 years from now, you don't want that Cadillac, call White Trash Services. They'll come pick it up. When you need somebody to grab a roll-off dumpster full of stuff out of your garage because it's spring cleaning time, call White Trash Services, 550-1826. Razor IT Solutions, JP Hall and his team will come out and help you with your analytics, your encryption. They'll keep Zuckerberg out of your Facebook.
Yeah, I wonder if Facebook would have called.
For Fortune 200 companies. I mean, it's not like out of his realm.
No, not at all.
Could have helped him a lot. Reach out to JP Hall and the great folks at Razor IT Solutions. If all else fails, if it doesn't prevail, the law offices of let Stephen look at it a different way. Let Stephen argue on your behalf. Let Stephen help you with a will, trust, adoption. Sadly, maybe a divorce, but let him make it equitable for everybody. The law offices of Steve Kidder are here to serve you and your family. And then today, you know that today, every Monday, we all start a new diet. Go buy Complete. Go right over here to 360, Comp 360, right here, the health bar, right
The
here.
health bar by Complete 360.
Right next to Ravens.
Get the name right.
Yeah, the health bar. And go in there and get you a panini and an energy drink. Kick your metabolism up. Get the panini with the protein you need and fewer calories than any other sandwich. And you'll be glad that you started out right. Seeing Jeff Fonseca said the APT Tour is in town this week. Good luck to my brothers, Joe Mitchell, Jonathan Gordon Allen, Ben Lake. Ben.
Yeah, won the amateur qualifier.
So looky here. Did you happen to watch yesterday as Jordan Spieth broke a multi-year drought?
He hasn't won since 2017.
Yeah, which was the British Open. He just enjoyed that honeymoon for a while. But big win yesterday at Valero, Texas Open. Always fun to watch Charlie Hoffman. It's kind of like watching
it was like a heavyweight. Plumber. It was like a heavyweight bout. It was like Foreman in his later years.
Right, but Charlie's like watching an old plumber out there. He's just like got a hold of it, just got like a baseball grip, just slapping it around. Unbelievable. But Jordan Spieth looked really, really good. He is such a great putter. Goodness gracious, the kid's around the hole all the time.
That'll be it. That'll be his only win.
No, I think he's back. He's back. Sam Ellinger, better known as Jordan Spieth. He's back.
So your mean Mercedes flew out in his ninth at bat, so he was not able to go 9 for 9. But if you're asking, a home run, a double, and 6 singles in the 8 for 8 streak. So
the light hitting overachiever. Yeah. Was he a rookie?
Yeah, he's a rookie. That's what I said.
Awesome.
First rookie since 1900 to go.
Who was that rookie?
That I don't know.
Ben Schwartz.
Probably could find out.
I just made that up. Refreshing to hear Bill Posey and Lee De La Garza talking this morning about Georgia.
28-year-old rookie. So it's not fair. He's 28. He's not a rookie.
Georgia and their voting decisions and all the ramifications. And, when you start trying to levy corporate justice, a lot of times you expose hypocrisy. Things that jump to the fore for me is chairman of the board of Coca-Cola was one of the founding members of Augusta National. In my middle adult lifetime, Augusta National finally admitted a woman to the club. In my lifetime, they admitted a person of color into the club. Now, all of a sudden, Coca-Cola, in less than one generation, they're woke, man. They're like, hey, this is not right. You're suppressing voters in Georgia by requiring a ID that they can get for free.
Yeah.
Got to have an ID to vote. You're holding down the minority voter. How is that? How is that if the ID is free? How is making someone get an ID? Is it because of the stigma of the illegal immigrant? Really?
Maybe.
In Georgia? How many illegal immigrants are in Georgia? Are they coming in from the Atlantic?
No, they come in through here and go all through the country.
Well, there you go. And that just lets you know, if you don't think there's a problem in this country, there is a problem. And hats off to Georgia for requiring a voter ID. You got to be an American to vote.
And there's people complaining that they took some of the local authority away from the local voting offices or whoever oversees their elections locally, right? But in the Constitution, it's the state legislature oversees elections.
Absolutely.
So they didn't do anything that was unconstitutional, although 3 lawsuits have sprung up. You know, and the Associated Press came up with a thing, kind of the sweeping changes or what happened. You know, the state election board has powers now to intervene in county election offices, remove and replace local election officials. That says that could lead to some concern. Okay, fair enough, whatever. But will it? I mean, you're worried about a problem that hasn't happened yet. You know, again, to me, that's sort of a red herring politically, right? You're talking about something that may not ever occur. Their electioneering laws ban you from talking to somebody within 150 feet of, I think, the polling place, which is similar to ours here. We have, what is it, 100 feet, 200 feet here?
I think it's 100 feet, but I don't know why I think that.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm right.
And then, of course, they go straight to, well, you're going to stop people from giving people food and drinks in the lines to vote. Well,
so
first of all, if you're in that bad a shape physically, health-wise, that and even if you haven't planned to vote or go an early vote, which the other thing this did was expand early voting and voting on weekends, including an additional Sunday.
That's a ridiculous argument.
But how many people, serious question here, though, just to point out the idiocy of this complaint by those folks who say that this is suppressing voters. How many people have you heard of dying of either thirst or hunger in line waiting to vote in Georgia?
Nobody ever.
Because you can go a month without eating, right?
Well, get a snack before you go stand in line to vote. I mean, seriously, is it that hard? Get you a little snack.
Yeah, you can't throw you can't put a protein bar in your pocket or something and carry your own bottle of water. I mean,
especially now that you know, somebody can't walk up and hand you a Joe Biden bottle of water to give you a little time.
Well, and that's what they're trying to stop.
That's what they are doing.
Hey, I'm so-and-so with so-and-so's office. Here's a bottle of water. Vote for so-and-so.
Where are you going to lunch today? The polls.
Yeah.
Get a box
Christina,
of chicken.
when's the last time you ate when you were?
Yeah, nobody does. I've never seen anybody eat when they were voting.
You know.
But it's because the woke left has got to complain about something. And I don't even know why it's the left. I don't know why the right isn't complaining. And I'm serious. Does this somehow benefit Republicans? I don't see how it could. If it's unilateral across the board, how does it help anybody? I think it's a gross, inflated stereotype to believe that, quote unquote, minorities and or people without IDs are going to vote Democrat. I don't think that the last elections showed us that.
Well, what they're complaining about is that you now have to have a picture ID to get a mail-in ballot, and I think that's probably where they're complaining because you didn't need.
Because if you don't have an ID and you're illegal, then you can't get a mail-in ballot. Man, what a bummer.
Yeah, real tough to secure.
I don't get it. But Coca-Cola, Major League Baseball decides to pull the All-Star game out of Atlanta. Now, how much money is that going to cost Atlanta? I mean, if I'm Atlanta, I'm upset because guess what? If we're talking stereotypes,
here's the irony, though. Atlanta is a Democrat-controlled city.
Right, and Atlanta is black. When you think Atlanta, if you don't think black, you're missing out on what Atlanta is all about. So the reality is those people are Americans and they've got IDs. I don't see why MLB is, so they're pulling it out, and yet they still make their baseballs in Costa Rica. They still, you have the
Major League Baseball is so upset, so woke, that the state of Georgia followed the Constitution and its legislature changed their laws, as opposed to just attorneys general around the country or secretaries of state going right before the election, yeah, we're just going to let people mail in ballots. And then they're finding out on the backside of this election that, oops, now that the court cases are actually being seen all the way through, well, yeah, you shouldn't have really done that. You can't do that the next time.
give Peter McNally his props. He says, hey, New York, the home office of MLB, has stronger voting laws than what were just instituted in Georgia. I mean, he agrees it's a joke.
It is a joke. And here's why it's an even bigger joke. Major League Baseball has no problem allowing their clubs to set up shop in Venezuela, Honduras.
Yeah, communist strongholds, places where
people exactly. If Major League Baseball wasn't so woke, they would ban their.
That's where the talent is. They go down there to farm talent. They go down there to find kids like they found Jose Altuve, who was just begging to play baseball, and sign a kid with that much game for $10,000.
Lied about his age and his height to get into the tryout.
Yeah, kind of hard to lie about your height.
Yeah, but lied about his age, I think. Isn't that the story?
Yeah.
Because they thought he wasn't. They didn't think he was as old as he was because he's only 5'6".
Johnny Houghton points out the blatant hypocrisy. But if I go to pick up my tickets at will call at a Major League Baseball game, I got to show an ID.
Yeah.
I can't just say I'm here for Brent Carter's tickets.
No. Which unless somebody hacked into your email and found out or something, right? I mean, how are they going to know, right? But
she says, Christina Weiss says, where are those jerseys made? China.
Yeah, Nike probably.
Anything made by Nike is made by slave labor. It's just fact. That's what they do.
Major League Baseball has no problem with all these academies for talent in Venezuela, where they're actually making you stand in line for anything other than voting, because you can't vote in Venezuela. I mean, Correct. You can, but it's a farce. Their elections aren't democratic. They're not free. They're not free from scandal and fraud.
Well, and I used to say, and then this is shame on me, I used to say, oh, just play ball. You know, y'all just do what you do. You're meant to be a diversion. Don't take a knee at the ball game. Don't do this. Don't do that. And looking back, probably a little too harsh of a stance on my part. I think that the beauty of having a forum, the beauty of having celebrity is being able to say things that maybe other people are thinking, or say things that need to be said. I guess where I get it is I would listen to LeBron James potentially at an interview, at a sit down with pick one. I was going to say David Letterman, but you know what I'm saying. I don't want LeBron James talking about his political views in the post-game interview. That's just me. That's why I don't watch the NBA. It doesn't mean that I'm right. I'm not trying to suppress his free speech. I'm saying everything has a time and place. And you may not want me coming up to you at church or at HEB and telling you the way I feel about Major League Baseball either. You'll listen to it here. This is our forum. So I don't know. I feel bad because I was one of the first ones that just kind of said, hey, look, just play ball. You know, you're a distraction. That's all you are. They are people too. They have a voice. In this case, Ash, for Major League Baseball as a corp, as a sport, as somebody who is, by the way, secluded or protected from antitrust legislation and is absolutely subsidized by the United States government, it is a little bit offensive that they decide to lash out publicly about public policy.
And the MLBPA came out and issued a statement as well. And I wonder, what you haven't heard, you can't tell me that all 800 and whatever major league players are all in agreement with Major League Baseball's decision to pull the All-Star game from Atlanta.
Yeah.
You can't tell me some, but you don't think there's some heavy handedness somewhere along the way telling people not to talk about it if they don't
Right.
agree with the stance?
Right.
Because you can't tell me every Major League Baseball player agrees with the stance.
And the truth is, there are more. And I don't know if they're suggesting that the black resident of Atlanta is being oppressed here, but there are lots more Latin players, Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and all that in Major League Baseball than there are black Americans. That's a true statement right there. H.R. Mallory says, I haven't read the actual law, but my understanding is inside of 150 feet, the elections office can provide water. Outside of 150 feet, anyone can.
Exactly. You could give out water 151 feet away.
And here's the deal. Voting is not about where you go to get your snack. Take your own water and go vote. I just don't get it. I don't get the problem.
I don't think I've ever stood in line more this year because of COVID. I stood in line longer than I've ever stood in line to vote. And if you think that the state shouldn't get involved with local elections, maybe this is why the state legislature in Georgia did. If you look at the pictures of the long lines, there's a problem locally that the lines are that long.
Agree.
Either the offices aren't being run properly, or the people don't care enough to volunteer or go to work or get paid to go to work, because they pay elections people when they work in polling offices and polling places and such. At least they do here. I'm assuming they do everywhere else. But that to me tells me there's part of the problem right there.
Right.
They don't have enough people working. They don't have enough places to vote. They don't have enough people to oversee more voting stations. So there's a reason for your long lines. Maybe the state has to get involved to alleviate those problems so the lines become shorter. They don't even think about that. But no, the state's getting involved. They're going to make the lines longer, and it's going to be anarchy. Right?
It could be. You're awfully excited on a Monday. By the way, if you're going to vote in May in our special election, and you think there's a chance that you could croak, reach out to Dana Moore de la Garza well in advance. Dana Moore will give you a bottle of water when she gives you a quote for your funeral, for your lot at Memory Garden, for what it's going to cost you to get Charlie Heibolt out of retirement to play the trumpet at your funeral.
Your funeral pyre in the elections line?
Absolutely. I want to be burned up on one of those things. Yeah, I want to be a pyre. Yeah. Dana Moore de la Garza, 652-9157. If you give her a call today, she'll come out to your home on a serious note, sit down, help you understand all the different facets, like from where you'll be buried, if you'll be buried, if you'll be cremated, what that will cost. What's the difference? What does it cost to have a normal burial versus or traditional burial versus a cremation burial?
I don't know, but Dana does.
She does. And she'll tell you within pennies what it'll cost. And then she can also literally give you a quote for that, and you can pay it out over time, hopefully years and years. Hopefully you pay for it over a 5-year period and you outlive that by 30 years, and you've already got it done at today's prices. There's no inflation. There's no later bills. Price of dirt goes up at Memory Garden. Yours doesn't, because you've already bought your lot.
Well, I can't bill you after you're gone anyway.
You put a little fence around it, call it your little ranch, 6x3. There you go. Motto Mortgage, Terry Murray.
541-5454 is the number to call Terry.
Whether you want to refinance, whether you want to have a cash out refinance, whether you want to roll all the expenses into your refinance, or you need a new mortgage, traditional mortgage.
Hey, buying a home for the first time.
FHA,
VA,
they got it all.
Finance. It's got all the mortgage accoutrement.
Right there between,
including reverse mortgages as well.
Jason's Deli and Sally's Hair Supply, right there. Wind services went, generators went, solar panels went, electrical outlets went, plumbing went, services. If you have things like that around your home, man, I sure wish we had one more plug right here in this garage. Went can do that quickly, professionally. Done it for Ash.
Happy with the work they did.
Great folks.
Yep.
Reach out to Wind Services today. You should have at your home a propane or natural gas powered generator. You should be ready for storm season, but you're not. So pick up the phone
But you
today.
could be.
and give them a call. USA Concrete Coatings. Charlie Garcia says we're killing it for him here on the year. No kidding, folks. 578-HOME.
Go to this Facebook page. Look at the before and afters. It does it more justice than we can ever talk
It's
about it. We'll
crazy.
tell you where to go or who to call. But if you go to Facebook and look at USA Concrete Coatings and see the before and afters, absolutely unbelievable, the transformation. The transformation.
578-HOME.
Yeah.
Transformation. Trash-tastic days. Chesnickian furniture opportunities. Alanian wrecker situations. We've got it all. We've got all the
adverbs.
adverbs. Yeah. And then the Gray Barn.
Gray Barnian.
The Gray Barnian. The Gray Barnian Rebel.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, Fred. Reach out to Cheryl, 920-6803. Let Cheryl come and decorate your next party. Yeah. Jeff Fonseca says, hey, all jokes aside, Wade Carter family, keep me in your prayers. I think Jeff's got the COVID.
He has a test today, he says.
And I hope he
Said
does.
he studied 2 days for it, so I hope he passes.
I hope he
Flying
does.
colors.
He's starter cold, Tito's a fever. Just be careful.
Yeah, I'm not sure that works so well
Be careful in there.
with this. Let's see what else. What else was going on over the weekend that I thought was interesting?
Thoughts to you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Be well, brother.
Yeah, we are keeping you in our thoughts, man. Jobless numbers over the weekend, or Friday, I guess. After we got off the air, they released them, and they look pretty good.
Did they?
U.S. economy added about 916,000 non-farm jobs to payrolls.
Well, that's a
More than
carryover.
expected.
That's a carryover from the Barack era. When he
Yeah, of
had
course
the
it is.
economy rolling.
Yeah, they were expecting about unemployment fell from 6.2 to 6.0.
It's not bad, really.
No,
Especially
not
considering the
bad.
COVID. 6% is not that bad.
no. But anybody who didn't, and I didn't give President Trump credit for this, and I'm not going to give President Biden credit for this. Anybody who didn't think that the economy would come back
Oh, just
post-COVID, once governments stopped being the heavy-handed, draconian authoritarians that they were, and the 2 weeks to flatten the curve ended, that the economy wouldn't come back in most forms. There are going to be, obviously, with the travel restrictions in place, you're going to see issues with travel, tourism, those sorts of things, right?
Yes, sir.
No fans of ball games is going to limit that sort of stuff. But for the most part, businesses are back.
Yeah, speaking of
And those unemployment numbers kind of show that. But interestingly enough, the one number that's seriously lacking is unemployment amongst certain socioeconomic and demographic groups. Primarily the ones that were flourishing.
Blacks and Hispanics are struggling.
Yes,
They make
they
up a large percentage of the 6%. A little trivia for you, or not trivia, but minutia, really. I did observe over the weekend that last year the Astros only played 60 games, and there were no fans in the stands, and now there's limited fans in the stands. And folks, the fans have not forgotten. The fans were holding signs, banging trash cans.
They're not allowed to take things into Oakland's baseball games,
calling the
but the
Astros
few fans that
cheaters.
were there were brought in trash cans.
Yeah, they called them cheaters.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think I look at a kid like Yordan Alvarez who wasn't here, and as the team, Straw, Tucker, these guys were not mainstays on that team.
No.
I look to see how long this will last. Maybe one trip through the league. The oddity to me, and I know I'm an apologist. I care about the Astros, so I kind of give them a break or a little bit of a pass. They were nowhere near the most egregious nor the most prolific.
No, but they just weren't amongst the most storied franchises in MLB history.
Right, like the Boston Red Sox just get a pass.
Yeah. New York Yankees, pass.
Yeah, it's no big deal. They weren't really cheating much.
Dodgers, a lot of smoke around LA, and then it
Blame
just kind
the
of
Astros because the Astros beat them.
yeah. Then it just kind of went away.
There's Heather Monroe, MUN.
Happy Easter Monday. Yep. This is pretty much a statutory holiday in Canada is Easter Monday.
Look at that. Michelle Hawkins points out Brussels and Belgium ruled that all COVID-19 restrictions have to be lifted within the next 30 days. Maybe there's hope to travel again soon without being so restricted.
Now you'll need your vaccine passport. We'll talk about
Is that going to
tomorrow.
happen?
Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Jeez.
Because, the same people that have problems with voter ID have no problem with a vaccination record to show that
Right.
you can move about the country freely.
It's all
You know.
about government control and how the government gets control.
Yeah. No, it
Folks,
really
we
is.
got to get out of here.
No, we don't yet.
Folks, we're going to stay. This is bonus time right now.
Can't we start a little late? We can't end so early. I'm trying to see what else there is. I mean, it's Monday, and there's just NCAA men's basketball championship game tonight. Baylor, Gonzaga.
I'm going to tell you that I think Baylor I think Gonzaga is going to be tired. I think they're going to come out flat. I think Baylor is going to drop the hammer on them. Watching Scott Drew's Baylor Bear team the other night, I was like, wow. I mean,
Where do you play his college ball at?
Scott Drew,
Yeah.
he's 6 foot white and has no hair. I mean,
Is it Purdue or something like that?
Princeton or somewhere. White privilege. Guy's got no game.
Jeff Fonseca asked if we saw the dumbass protester that climbed up the Chase Bank wall and fall. I did not see that one.
No, but isn't that justice?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, folks, I've got Ron Jeremy for a partner. If you put it on the teleprompter, he'll read it. Be careful. Be careful what you put on there because Ash could get us all thrown off the air.
Not at all.
Christina Wise echoes Baylor will take the win.
I want to see Gonzaga. Just keep the undefeated.
Well, you're from the Pacific Northwest. I mean, you're vicarious. You're a Washington
not
State
the
guy.
Pacific
You're
Northwest.
vicariously claiming that.
I got into it on a Cougs board with fellow Cougs saying, "Oh, great job by Gonzaga and lots of West Coast teams still in there." And Gonzaga is like 6.5 hours from the coast. That'd be like claiming Dallas is on the
Isn't Gonzaga
on the
like
coast.
in
Spokane.
Well, that's not 6 hours from the coast, is it?
Yeah,
I did not know
I think
that.
it's 6 hours.
I've been there.
5.5, 6 hours.
Can't
from
you just
Seattle.
go straight up from there to Vancouver or Seattle or Vancouver?
East? I mean west. Spokane's dead east on I-90.
Okay. I stand corrected.
Spokane's like right on the border of Idaho.
The
Yeah.
Idaho line, right there by Coeur d'Alene,
Yes.
which
Right
is
there.
owned by Bill Wimler,
It's
the
right
guy
there.
who has the Tower of Power right here. Oh, did I say Ron Jeremy?
Yeah, you said Ron Jeremy.
Well, I mean, he's got the porn bro at yahoo.com. What is Ron
Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy? Ron Jeremy, my bad.
I played along.
He did his best to go mainstream.
Cheryl laughed.
He was ahead of his time.
I played along. Cheryl laughed.
That's
Ron
just,
Jeremy.
folks, I'm sorry. Ron
There he
Jeremy,
goes. He played for his dad at VCU, he thinks. So I knew he played somewhere.
Virginia Commonwealth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get America's Sheriff in this week to talk a little bit about this. But
Fonseca may have 110 fever, but he's still sharp.
there you go. 170,000 migrant encounters in March, the highest monthly total in 15 years, but the crisis is under control, according to Joe Biden. There you go.
You want to talk about stereotypes and how things work out and people making fun of people. It cuts both ways, folks. The struggle is real. I was at the gym on Saturday with T-Lat. Saturday morning we went in there, and there was a guy there. He reminded me of who is the black guy that is in the Mission Impossible movies? It's not Ving Rhames.
I don't know.
He's big, yoked up, good-looking guy, and like that guy was in the gym on Saturday. I mean, he just had arms and was just like like briskets. And so he asked me when did you first start working out? And I said, in the yard, San Quentin. And he just started laughing at me like, white boy, you ain't never been to prison. I'm like, come on, man. I said, I had to shank a guy once. I said, he was a Puerto Rican kid. He had a 45-pound plate.
The only thing you shanked is your drive with the number one tee box.
At the country club.
Yes.
So I shanked him. I said, I didn't know he was the lightweight champion of Puerto Rico. I had to kill 47 of those guys. He's just dying laughing. See, those racial stereotypes cut both ways. Why couldn't I have learned to lift weights in the yard at San Quentin doing 25 to life?
You could have, but you would have had to wear a dress doing it.
He goes, yeah, right. I said, you know what the most painful thing was? And he said, what? I said, getting all those neck and face tattoos removed. That was the hard part.
The easy part is doing this. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Love
Bye,
your
folks.
neighbors. Bye, guys.
And AFC, assumes no responsibility for its content, and the Wade and Carter Show bears all responsibilities for their opinions and guests on their show. We appreciate your attendance. Please drive safely.
Hey, I will tell you, I wasn't certainly not at all.
Hold on, let me shut the YouTube down.
We're good. I did.